A feeling this is going to be the must-watch segment of the day. Don Lemon had some interesting remarks while discussing Nikki Haley and Joe Biden, seated with his female co-hosts. You know what? Why don't you just watch?
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. It's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime. And
I don't know how Don Lemon got off that set alive, honestly. That's one of the most unhinged things I've seen on cable television. Okay, so kudos to the journalist at the end who asked the salient question.
Briahna, I'm not sure I can continue this segment with it. You need to be put out to pasture.
My best years are behind me.
Bring her chair in here and wheel her out.
I mean, this is this weird conflation between reproductive viability and ability to do your job in Congress.
I mean, that's the additional hilarious thing is there. What he said was he was attempting to run cover for Joe Biden.
I mean, it's outrageous. Of all the things you can attack Nikki Haley for, she's what, about 50 years old? I think we Googled it.
I mean, you just stop counting after 25. It's all the same.
I'm having trouble even understanding what the point of this is. Okay, so you're saying to me that it was making an argument about defending older
Nikki Haley was saying maybe we need some guardrails for the Dianne Feinsteins of the world staying in office forever.
Right, and Don Lemon's response is, okay, but how old are your eggs? Let me count them.
You're no spring chicken.
By the way, I mean, is he in his prime? Is Don Lemon in his prime?
Well, he's not a woman.
Oh, naturally, I'm sorry. Forgive me. That is interesting, too, because he immediately went to, for women, it's different than men. Like, women spoil faster, which is only relevant if we're talking about reproductive health. So I really want to know why Don Lemon, of all people's mind, is going to Haley or Feinstein's or Biden's viability as breeders.
The discomfort on that set must have been gigantic. He has the nerve to sit. I don't know how old the co-host
at least
is.
The one who spoke said she was in her 40s.
Poppy Harlow? She said it was in her 40s.
She said, I'm in my 40s. I'm grandfathered in because he said 20s, 30s, 40s is the prime.
Yeah, she could have gotten a lot nastier in that exchange.
I, again, don't understand how they did it. I don't understand how they let him off the set. I don't understand how they didn't skewer him for ages. He should be. And
the host on the other side of him is Caitlin Collins, who there's been all this reporting that he's been yelling at her for daring to interrupt him. We showed that segment where she did a great interview with James Comer, and as Poppy Harlow was saying that, good work, and he was like cutting her off to say what an affront to democracy that we're even humoring these perspectives, but what does she know? She's just so old.
I mean,
I'm kidding. It's insane to think that.
The media criticism piece is often, we had these substantive analyses of, how there's not ideological diversity on MSNBC and CNN, and that's a problem, how they just have never Trump Republicans, they don't actually reflect the Republican Party, that they talk too much about Russiagate. And these are all legitimate criticisms that I think are the bedrock reasons why they're not performing very well in their ratings. And also there's this. Whatever this is. Is this some weird byproduct of seeing the world and politics through an exclusively identitarian lens that you're like, we can't even imagine a legitimate criticism of whether or not any given candidate at whatever age might not be cognitively fit to serve. We have to immediately go, if age is going to be a liability to people, then I have to say, what can I do? What age quantity does Nikki Haley have that I can hit her on? Oh, the age of her reproductive system.
Which is like no one. I've been very critical of Nikki Haley on the show, but no one is looking at her going, yeah, Nikki Haley, just too old, too withered, too. She's an attractive middle-aged woman. It's silly.
Middle-aged. I mean, she may or may not be, but
A
gentleman. Middle age.
I'm not saying I want to date her. I'm saying
she was born in 1972.
Okay.
So
well, I was born in 1988, and I'm 34 years old.
Oh, we're doing math live.
So that makes her.
She's 51.
I ran
She's
out of
51.
steam on that one.
She's 51. Don Lemon is 56.
Oh.
So it sounds like they're going to have to find a new host for this show.
Maybe it explains his lapses, and maybe he's suffering some cognitive decline. You know, it sets in soon, Briahna.
You got to check it out.
Yeah, we're all. No, well, we're past our prime, I think.
Well, that's for sure. Put us all out to pasture.
They got to get some Gen Z TikTok teens. Actually, that's why we should going back to our previous segment. We need to ban the kids from having access to social media because they're going to replace us at our jobs. Well, that is another week down for us. We've had a good one, I think.
It's been the best. I mean, honestly, this last segment has made me happier and laugh harder than I had in weeks. I really almost feel bad about critiquing Don Lemon because of how much joy he's brought me this morning.
I wish we could have. I wanted to play it live because you didn't know what was coming, and then we played it before we had the cameras rolling. Your cackle was delightful.
I said some things I shouldn't have said. I'm glad the cameras were.
We need live all the time, just so we don't miss the bloopers, man. You know, the bloopers.
I'll get my Twitch stream going, and you can get the spicy, unfiltered content straight from the horse's mouth.
Behind the scenes. All right. Well, tune in tomorrow where we will be airing this week's highlights, and we will be back with you, of course, next week. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you should be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I mean, share content like this. There's no excuse. And also, you never have to miss any content if you're on the go and want to listen. We're in podcast form. You can catch it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know all the apps, you know where to get it. And we will see you, of course, next week. Looking forward to it.
Stay youthful.
Bye-bye.